I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I'm Victoria II. I'm heir to the British Crown, legal. My father, Edward VIII, was forced out, illegal abdication orchestrated by the Jews, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan, and my own uncle, illegal George VI, Elizabeth's father. She's illegal. Helped orchestrate the takedown of my father and kidnap me, Victoria II. I was born in 39, the same time he was here with Roosevelt, who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England in 1936 when my grandfather died. I wonder how he died, George V. That would be his father. This man helped take down the British Empire. He took down his brother. That was lies. My father is Edward VIII, and he was married legally to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, Windsor, Irish-American. This is Georgia O'Keeffe, artist, sister to my mom. That's my aunt, Georgia. So my father never had anything to do with this American spy, Wallace Simpson, who, to tell you the strength and the power these people have had, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the Jews, can I say that? They have kidnapped me and do all this to my family, and part of my family went with them. The Duke of York, she puts him up in Kensington Palace, so she controls part of the Windsors. I hope they don't go along with it, but some of them did. She's illegal and should be tried before a world court. And this is the double. That's not my father. They became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. And this is just another photo of my father. This is my dad, Edward VIII. And the only thing I'm going to say here is I wrote about, before I found out about my kidnapping in '83, I wrote about mind control murders. And I had antifreeze put in me April Fool's Day of '80 because this whole thing has been a joke orchestrated by the Jews, the New World Order, the Freemasons. It's in power now. That includes the Clintons. They weren't alive then, but they're part of the New World Order, just like most of the presidents here were. So through my uncle George and the takedown of my father, Elizabeth and this Charles, there's something about they helped take down Tsar Nicholas of Russia, of the Soviet Union, orchestrate all that, and that was Anastasia. I ended up here. In fact, I was going through here when she was murdered. The Blue Ridge Mental Health killed her, and that was Anastasia. And all the money that was held in a bank, and I'm going to leave it at that. The British are not a part of this. The British helped try to save me and my father, and they've done all they could. The United States, that special bond is because they took down, special bond is they took down my father, who was married to my mom, Claudia O'Keeffe. This is the whole thing's a lie. They kidnapped me, Victoria II, heir to the British Crown. So this woman has to open up the Bank of England. They have really destroyed everything good, and they're evil as hell. Tsar Nicholas's family is the same relation to her as to me, but that has nothing. Well, I'm left speechless because I've known about this for a long time. I also know that there's a law that I hadn't thought much about, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking about it. Because I heard Charles say something. They said something about it. There's a law somewhere, whether it was enforced, and since she's in power with the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the people that control my money, she controls my money, they have her in their pocket. And they have Tsar Nicholas's money. Probably where did it go? It was being held by my uncle, who I know my grandfather would not sell out. And he was probably, I wonder how he died. And this sorry sock. So all this money is controlled when they took down my father, really. And they kidnapped me and put me over here, gave me another name of a twin. This is me after they brought me over. The woman who killed her twins, that's Lina, and the family covered it up. I found out after I'd been flown to Flint, who had been shot, and he helped me in a political campaign, and this is April of '84. He says in here that I know who was responsible for his killing, or shooting, and killing of his attorney. Larry McDonald was a congressman, doctor that I wrote about mind control murders back in '76 till April Fool Day of '80, and they filled me full of antifreeze. But I was writing about Warren and Rosina Matthews specifically, and they were pathologists at Piedmont Hospital where Larry McDonald worked as urologist. He was also head of the John Birch Society. But they were killed, and they were forensic pathologists, and they were shot, and there was hypnosis and mind control used in that, and it was done in patterns. But I wrote about a lot of them. But later, and then I had the antifreeze put in me, and of all things, I was illegally taken across the state line. This is me, a picture of me when they brought me over here. But I'm not going to show Peggy's birth certificate. This is Carl. Both twins were dead, illegitimate back then. And I was called bastard because I grew up using her name. And this is me here. And this, her father and grandfather helped kidnap me. How's that? If they lived good lives, haven't you, Elizabeth? And then I'm end up here next door to where Anastasia was murdered. I came here in '86, and I've lived a horrible life, and I think of the life that Anna lived, and she died being murdered, her husband trying to get her out. He even crashed into the gate trying to get her released, so it was all illegal. And the lies that have been told about her, when I've read them, are kind of akin to what they've done to me. So you lose your crown or you lose this, and people really, you find out who they really are. And really are is my family in Germany, and some of my family, a lot of them. The Windsors, part of them sold out Great Britain. This is not Great Britain's fault. The Germans, the British, and some Americans helped try to save me and my sons, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me. But there's something I want to get back to, and I don't know. I was told about it, and then later I heard something about Charles, because he's illegal. They didn't say that, but he would be heir. And since they're part of the New World Order, so are the Clintons, by the way, and Obama, and most of the former presidents were. I hope not Jimmy Carter. But there's something about that he would inherit, or not he shouldn't, he's illegal. It would be me. Next door here to where my cousin, Anastasia, was murdered. How did I end up here after she was killed? And I was driving a hustler car, and I never heard from them since. Through Charlottesville, when she was murdered, I heard it on the news. And I was just finding out then about my kidnapping and my real name, because they had given me the name of this twin, and both of them were murdered by her, and they covered it up. I found out in '83. So I don't know much else to say other than that there would be a lot of power that would fall to Charles. It's illegal. But where's the money? Money has been the root of all evil, and don't tell me it doesn't pay. Look at this woman. You should see the life I've lived, and the Brits have lived. Look at them. They've been overrun. And I know that's bad to say because people will hate me. Suddenly people come in, and just like the United States has allowed the illegals to come in here. And I'm not going to get into what happened to them, because part of them are from Honduras, and what used to be Honduras, and it was British colonies that the United States took over illegally when they installed their own monarch, Elizabeth, and this man, in the New World Order. They control the banking. They control my money. I don't think the Romanovs or Russia ever got any of that. It took